Don Quixote. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Don Quixote has become so entranced by reading chivalric romances that he determines to become a knight-errant himself. In the company of his faithful squire Sancho Panza, his exploits blossom in all sorts of wonderful ways. While Quixote's fancy often leads him astray, he tilts at windmills imagining them to be giants. Sancho acquires cunning in a certain sagacity. Sane madman and wise fool, they roam the world together, and together they have haunted readers' imaginations for nearly 400 years. Sane madman and wise fool sums up this book very well. Obviously, you have the sane madman, Don Quixote, who believes himself to be a knight-errant after reading one too many chivalry books. He puts his armor on, and he gets on his skinny nag, his skinny horse, Rocinante, and off he goes, tilting at windmills, believing they're giants, entering inns and bars, believing they're castles, dedicating his entire existence to the love of his life, Lucinda, the Lady of Del Toboso. And you have the wise fool, Sancho Panza, obviously foolish because he becomes this madman squire, following him wherever he goes with the loyalty of a dog. But at the same time, he's kind of wise because when he talks to people, he's stringing proverbs together like he is the Holy One, Jesus Christ himself. Now, where do we start with this book? Where to begin? It is a long book. It is almost 1,000 pages. But the entire time I was reading it, I was gripped by the author's imagination, leading me from one adventure to the other on this seemingly endless path of epic knight-errantry and epic love story after love story, gone wrong, gone right, gone wrong, adventure after misadventure, here, there, everywhere. It is quite the roller coaster to read. It is expansive. It is very in-depth. Simply reading this book has taught me many things, has showed me many different plots that I couldn't even imagine. It's almost like reading Shakespeare for the first time. It's like reading Romeo and Juliet. You're like, where is this gonna go? What is gonna happen here? And then once you've read it, you're like, how did this author think of this? How did he come up with such a convoluted, immense plot line? Like, this is just absolutely nuts. And that's what this author does. It's amazing. It's awesome. It is an excellent book. It's an excellent rendition comedy. It's a comedy in a way. It's an excellent comedy of the whole knight-errantry genre. And as was stated, it is about a man who reads one too many chivalry books and then believes he's a knight-errant. So he's going out there into this world on his skinny, malnourished, atrophied, skeleton-like horse in the most ridiculous garments, the most ridiculous weaponry you can imagine, with his squire, his neighbor from his local village. Somehow he roped him into this, his squire, who he promises many things. Okay, riding on some stinky donkey. Okay, and they're going through these villages together, and people are looking at this pair, and they're like, "What in the world? What is going on? Who are you? What are you doing?" And then this Don Quixote shows up with the utmost pomp, with the utmost assertion, and he is like, "You are witnessing the flower, the mirror of knight-errantry himself, greater than all knight-errants there have ever been. And people cannot tell what to make of this man." Overall, it's a very original book with an original style, and I feel like it's been a big inspiration for a lot of movies and things in pop culture. You know, after reading that book, I'm like, oh, that must be where that came from. Or, oh, okay, I see where they got the idea from that. It came from that book. Very good. Highly recommend it. If you haven't read it, I do recommend picking it up, but be warned, it is a read and a half, but like I said, you will be entertained the entire time, so it's not much of a warning. It is more of a go ahead and read it. Very good. Overall, give it 9.5 golden tokens out of 10. Very good book. The best book that I have read up until this point. I do hope you enjoyed this book review. Do take care. Do subscribe. And until next time, guys.